My name is Kim Min Jae. And I was like, what? I could not believe my eyes and my ears when I heard him say this. And this is something that I've been trying to teach them, which was just like, I was like, "Mudimu Chesi, look at what you do. Via China to go and teach." I was like, what? Like, yeah, we're going to China, we're going to teach English. Maralina teaching qualification, teaching license. The practicals, 7 months, I cannot find a job in South Africa. Luhona, China. Just so I eventually then started applying back to EPIK and other places.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Teachers Podcast. If you're new here, welcome. And please remember to hit that subscribe button. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much. It's always wonderful having you with us. Please make sure that you watch till the end for some more valuable teaching tips. My name is Naoletswalo, and of course, I am not alone. You can see we have a very beautiful guest. I know. Most of you know her. You know, you've seen this face somewhere before. Anna, thank you very much for being here today. Welcome to the Teachers Podcast. Can you please introduce yourself to the people? I mean, you don't need any intro, but for formality.
No, I do. Yo, listen to you. Ha ha. Hi, Dumelang. Guys, my name is Anna, and I too am an English teacher. Now, thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to be featured on your channel. Guys, please make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. At a pushing channel like a.
Now, Anna, like you did mention that you also teach, you teach English. Can you please tell us a bit more about yourself, your background, and your education?
So I was born in Johannesburg. I was born in the burbs. I studied psychology, actually. Did psychology. After psychology, went into the corporate world and marketing, and then I went into banking. So teaching was never on my radar. And then while I was working at this bank, I had work colleagues where two of them that said, via China to go and teach. I was like, what? Like, yeah, we're going to China, we're going to teach English. Maralina teaching qualification, teaching license. And they're like, no, all you need is what they call a TEFL certificate. You just quickly do that online, and then you go. At the time, guys, China, leaving home and going abroad, zero. Let them go first. I'll just watch on the sidelines and then make up my mind afterwards. So they went, and I was following their journey for a year, and then I decided, hi man, but they look happy, they're exploring. What about me now? Let's maybe try it out. Now that we've watched some other people do it and they're getting it right. Okay. Then I'm like, okay, no, let's look into this. But at the time, it was during COVID. So the borders to China was closed. So I was like, okay, what do I do now? Then another friend of mine has people that she knows in Korea that were teaching English. So she was like, hey, I'm going to go teach in Korea. Do you want to go with? And I was like, yes, let's go. So we did the TEFL together. We did the application. My sister was like, you guys are going. Now I'm also going. So my sister also.
You guys are recruiting each other now.
Yeah, together. So there is how I got to Korea. So I applied to EPIK, taught there for a year, go primary school and a middle school, which I absolutely loved. Um, I excel well when I'm in careers where I feel like I'm helping people and I'm serving
Yes,
people.
yes,
So
yes,
even in the banking industry, I was in this customer service space, which I was doing well in.
yes.
But then I was asking myself, could I do this for the next 5 to 10 years? And the answer was no. Then I was like, okay, then Anna Onyokodia Ing. And I didn't know the answer. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So that's why I eventually packed my bags, left, completed the year, and I actually enjoyed it.
Wow.
I love kids and I actually love to teach. Um, but it really sunk in for me on one afternoon. I was heading home, and one of my grade one students stops me. You know, one of those kids where get a low level, it's just like you're gonna try and try, but it
Yes,
just
yes,
getting through that wall. He's one of those.
yes.
Anyways, he comes up to me and he goes, "My name is Kim Min Jae." And I was like, what? I could not believe my eyes and my ears when I heard him say this. And this is something that I've been trying to teach them, which was just like,
Yes.
it's like, "Mujiu, Muchesi, look at what you did." No, that's when I knew that this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to make sure that other kids are able to overcome their challenges or even just progress in wherever it is that they at. So yeah, that's when I decided teaching is for me. So I got okay to renew the contract. I gotta know. The idea was always to go to China and get. So I skill Bali. Let's go to China first, see how it is. So got
Another
China.
explorer.
So China kindergarten also enjoyed it. And then because I knew that I wanted to teach, I wanted to make it official. Jwale ka ra wa ana. Le wena o nyaka ho ba le di-bragging rights ya hore ke na
Yes.
le teaching license. So I started the PGCE while I was in that first year in China. Completed the year. School asked, are you renewing? Kare, no. Kore, ke la bona kare modimo o re, this is not it. Like
Yes.
in your gut, you need to move.
Yes.
And I'm glad I listened. So I had made the decision to not renew. So it was either I go home or I find a new school. But I knew that if I find a new school, I wouldn't be able to go back home to do the practicals, and I needed to do practicals.
Practical.
So I was like, I hire the practicals, and then we'll try to get back into China. So we did the practicals, 7 months. I cannot find a job in South Africa. Luhona, China. Just so I eventually then started applying back to EPIK and other places. And then by God's grace, a job came up for China again. So I am back in China now.
Oh, amazing, amazing. I loved that moment when the kid came to you, because that's the whole point of teaching, to
Exactly.
see them grow. That's
Exactly.
I don't know what they say. It's the what moment? It's is it the aha moment? I don't know what to
That was the
say.
aha moment for me. That was that.
Yes, it's that moment.
This is what I want to do for
This
at
is
least for the next couple of years. This is what I
every
want. And
time.
then even for the child, just seeing his eyes
Yes.
light up and how proud of himself he was. I was like, yeah.
Right? This is why we are doing this. This is the whole point. And I understand that why that moment is so precious to you, because
Yeah.
it now shows that you really love what you are doing, and you really
Yeah.
love seeing the impact, that you are putting into these kids' life. And it's so
Yeah.
wonderful to witness, as a teacher. And what was your experience like in Korea? Like, can you just take us through your whole experience in Korea and how it shaped your journey as a teacher?
Um, I was very fortunate to be placed. It was like in a small town, so not those big cities and not the countryside either.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's just say in the middle of the two extremes is where I was. And the school that I was at, they had like a total of 60 students. And
Mm,
this included elementary and middle school together, and they were on one big property. Um, and because it was in a small town, you must also know that the English ability was really low. The other teachers as well, even the co-teachers. So I actually ended up having full autonomy in my classes. So when it came to the English classes, they were just like, "Hi, Anna, when you're the English teacher, here's the textbook, the curriculum, run with it how you see fit." And I absolutely loved it. I couldn't imagine it going any other way. And I feel like because I had that freedom to
yeah,
discover myself as a teacher fully, well, fully in the ESL world of conversation English.
yeah,
But yeah, that freedom is that when I learned that I actually love to do what I do. And I also was able to try different things.
yeah,
And when I hear about some other people's experiences, they either have the same similar experience where they have full autonomy, or they are co-teaching the two of them
yeah,
together, or when I look at the game and that's it. So I was glad I wasn't in a school where I was just playing games or I'm just there to pronounce English words. So I was very grateful for that school. Definitely laid the foundation for what I wanted to do with my life. Being in the country in general, South Korea is a beautiful country. It's safe. I valued the
true,
safety of it, especially being women from the countries that we
true.
come from. So it helps to be in a safe country. It doesn't matter. I didn't have to worry about my safety. I
Yeah,
was absolutely safe. Whether I get 3 a.m. in the morning or get 7 o'clock at night, listen,
yeah,
safe. Life is also very convenient in South Korea as well. Same with China. You need anything, you just bam, 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 online, boom, there, you've got it. Things just work. Life is so efficient. Everything is interrelated and connected really well, which is what I enjoyed about both countries.
yeah,
Um, yeah, so that's what I would say were my highlights was obviously the teaching aspect, but also being in a country where education is important. They value teachers, which
yeah.
was new for me compared to what I've
Oh,
seen
they
back home.
do. They
Yeah,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, it sounds like you had a great experience, and I really love the fact that they allowed you to be full on in the classroom. Because if people don't know, in South Korea we do what they call co-teaching, and
mm,
sometimes you can find yourself with a teacher that actually likes to take control and never give you the time, or sometimes you
mm,
can find someone that never wants to do anything and wants you to do all the work, but I always prefer to be doing all the work, not all the
same.
work, but I prefer to do most of the teaching. Like you said,
Mm,
you are glad that you were not just playing games, because at the end of
mm,
the day, if you are just playing games, kids will just see you as that fun teacher. And when it's time to just listen and learn, they sometimes they don't really understand that, okay, why now are we doing this?
mm,
Because we know you as the fun teacher. So it's
mm,
good that you had the whole experience, and you had the flexibility. It's very
mm,
rare to get a school where you are allowed to be flexible in your teaching styles, because you also need to learn your students' learning styles, and cater to
exactly.
their learning styles.
Later to the
So
co-teacher style as well,
yes,
which can
yes.
be a bit tricky navigating that relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so coming to Korea, you need to be very flexible. And like you said, the convenience, the safety, we love it
Mm.
all. Korea is a beautiful country. But why did you decide to move from Korea to China? And how is the teaching different?
So obviously initially it was on my radar before Korea, China was on my radar. And while I was in Korea and enjoying my time, I still was researching China, and I saw that the cost of living was lower than South Korea. I saw that the salaries were higher than in South Korea, if I'm just looking at the EPIK teacher. And then on top of that, I saw that I could have the opportunity to actually do more than just conversational English. So once I realized this was my passion, I wanted to do more than just conversational. So then with those reasons together, I'm like, let's go to China and see how it is. If I decide, see one of them, but otherwise, let's go and see for myself.
You know what I'm loving about you? It's like the girl that you think you are, because you need to tick that box. If you wrote it down, if you have a goal, you need to tick it off. You need to finish that. You are
Exactly.
the I planned it and I did it.
I
There's this
try. I don't always get it right, but when it comes to things that really matter to me, yeah, I do.
Yes. There's this trend. They say I screenshot and I buy it. So you plan it and you do it. You don't just
Yeah,
screenshot.
yeah. Get into trouble.
No, beautiful, beautiful. I love that. But what inspired you? I heard that you fell in love with teaching, you mentioned, and as you were discovering yourself, what actually inspired you to pursue your PGCE, and how was the teaching practice in South Africa? Like you mentioned that you had to go home to do the practicals. What inspired you, and how was the experience teaching in South Africa?
What inspired me to do the PGCE was that I found what I love to do, but I knew that um, if I wanted to be able to walk through any door as a teacher and have to be able to go to any country or to go to any school, I needed to have my teaching license.
Yes.
So without it, I wouldn't be able to access like an international school, for example, where I can teach other subjects and not just ESL. So that's what's inspired me to do the PGCE is I knew that I didn't want it to just end at conversational English. And so because now we've realized what my purpose and passion is, it's now my task or my job to keep growing it. So I needed to now add on the PGCE. Hopefully masters, we'll see. But yeah, that was the inspiration behind that. Practical wise, the practicals, I was never ready. I was never ready. Okay, so I had to do 3 sets of practicals. So Bekere, I will do one set in the townships, got another set in the villages, and then do a third set in the burbs. Ne? Was ideally my initial plan.
Yes.
But it didn't work out that way. So I ended up doing one set in the townships and then the other 2 back home, go high, so in the villages. And it was a bit of a culture shock being a teacher who was now in South Korea, and that's where I started my teaching profession,
Yes.
to now being in the classrooms as a teacher in South Africa. So yes, Vele, I went to school my whole life, go South Africa, and I've got that experience, but I'm not necessarily looking at that. I'm looking at my life as a teacher and just looking at the classrooms back home. It was a culture shock because the lack of resources, the infrastructure, the facilities, that was what was a culture shock. Knowing what we have in South Korea, I mean, they've got everything that they need. When at technology, when at textbook, when at this, when at that, everything that they would need in order for that student to excel, they've got it. And if they don't have it, put in the order, they'll get it, and very quickly.
As soon as today.
As soon as today. Shale, back home in the villages specifically, as well as the townships that I was at, they didn't have that. Dibuka kumana dibuka, there's no books. Or if there are books, bashera. And then there was a time where I was teaching a lesson and I'm seeing some of the kids, they're not writing. And you're like, why le sangwali? Karla bara mereko sho umo body ke le file mereko. Why le sangwali? But ma'am, I cannot pene, ke emetše pene ya mang 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 mang, le yena o emetše ya mang 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 mang. And I was just like, Lord, a simple thing like a pen and ruler, things that we take for granted. Um, some of our kids back home don't have
Yeah.
basic things, textbook, pen, pencil. So it was a bit of a culture shock in that, just seeing that our kids are meant to excel in this 21st
Mhm.
century world with literally nothing.
Yeah.
Like in a computer room. And you must remember that we're in a 21st century world. How are we not, how are our kids not having computer class where they're
Yeah.
being taught your Word, your Excel, your all of that AI? I mean, if you look at the kids here, go Korea and China, and the level of technology in their classrooms and just what they're being taught to do, like put together their own game,
Mm.
online games, and working with AI and things like that. So just seeing the level of resources and facilities that they've got here compared to back home. It was a culture shock and it was sad to see. And I sort of understood, when some teachers are saying back home that teaching is difficult, they would love to do more, matter with the lack of resources and funding and support, they're unable to do what they would love to do to ensure that their kids excel. And sometimes it would have to be on your own dime because, there's no funding and there's no money and there's no budget. So witnessing that, it was sad to see. And I'm like, how are, the Black children back in the villages and the townships supposed to excel in situations like that? And I was fortunate enough to have grown up in the burbs where I did go to some good schools. So yeah, it was different to what I was now experiencing as a teacher abroad to now going back home and seeing what it's like at home. It's a little bit sad. But yeah, so that was horrible, but it was another stamp that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I did enjoy teaching the kids. Um, and that's when I realized that it's so important for the teacher to go the extra mile, especially for students that need it, that it is our responsibilities to shape the minds of our students. And that you wear more than one hat. It's not just you in the classroom teaching. You now also need to see to their emotional well-being, their physical well-being, their spiritual, like all of that. Sometimes they need a parent, sometimes it's a teacher, sometimes it's a parent, it's a friend. You need to play those different roles, which is why teaching can be exhausting because you're playing so many roles. Mara, yeah, I also realized through my practicals that I enjoy to do what I do. Um, and I saw that in the communities where I was doing my practicals, they need more than what they've been given, and it's unfair. But they also need teachers who are willing to go the extra mile. Not saying that some are not doing it already, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as a teacher, you play so many roles. As a teacher, you are their pastor, you are their guardian, you are the
Mhm.
doctor, you are the police, you play so many roles as a teacher alone. And now being at a space where there's lack of infrastructure can be demotivating at times, but like you said, we need teachers who are willing. We need teachers who are actually in it because they love it. And
That's important.
yes, like you did
I love
mention,
development.
yes. Like you mentioned, it's really unfair. I like saying that it's an injustice to
Mm,
see how students still struggle, because when I was a student, I went to a public school. We had shortages of books and shortages of chairs. Then I
mm,
became a teacher in South Africa, and I still had the same challenges where my students now had shortages of chairs and textbooks. You know,
uh-huh. How
you
many
ask
years
yourself,
later?
when does it get better? Because it feels like it's either it's still the same, it stays the same, or it's getting worse. Because
Mm,
look at it, some places are improving,
yeah,
But it will always be that one area and not in the rurals, like in Gauteng, because I stay in Gauteng, in Pretoria to be specific. You would see some improvements at some schools. And
Mm.
computer, like you mentioned, computer is not mandatory, which is still, it's still a shock, because why do I have to know how to use a computer by the time I get to university?
Mm.
Why is it only a subject? Because they choose subjects at grade 10. You will
Mm.
find that some schools they don't even have it as
Yeah.
one of the subjects. Yeah,
Actually, there's no computers.
because there are no computers. Going back to other issues, they will tell you about crime. They will tell you, our issues are so many.
So many, multifaceted. It goes deep than just buying computers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, we are the products of that system. So we are
True.
grateful. We are grateful. And yes, we are here to make the change, one way or the other. Like you said, we are here to shape the future generation. Yeah.
Mm.
Also, Anna, tell me what motivated you to start your own company in helping others to finding jobs abroad. Please tell us more about your company, what you do, and how can people find you.
Okay. So during that 7 months I was back home unemployed, I had one friend, well, not one friend, but I had an acquaintance that, would from time to time ask me for information, advice, and I tend to do that with people. So if you message me on Instagram, YouTube, you email me, whatever it is, if you need to sit down with me where I explain certain things or answer certain questions or give you resources, that's what I was already doing. But then my mom, that one day, I was on that call, it was going on to 2 hours. Kumabare, Anna, 2 hours for matomati. What's about ke nya o patala Wi-Fi e le busy bolela le data ne le bolelang ka yona. O nagana o patala data e le Wi-Fi ka eng?
I love your mom.
And my mom was like, "Awa Anna, ka se tšwele pele ka mokgwa o," and I'm sure o deala le batho ba bangwe from time to time. Ke re, yeah, from every now and then, if somebody o nyaka ke lebelle the lesson plan for EPIK applications, they send it to me, I look at it, I'm like, okay, it's good, or change here, here, and here. So I was already doing that kind of thing, but not in a professional expert capacity, making money from it. So when my mom said that, I was like, Mara, you know what? I am currently unemployed with no prospects right now. And she baba to banyaka too short, and I'm just doing it. I'm like, okay, no, let's do it. So okay, what are we naming this company? Karo Road, Karo ESLing, Karo Road to ESLing is the name. Because I saw an image of like a roadmap. And then I'm like, wait, road to ESLing. I was like, love it.
Perfect.
Registered name, and we got started from there. A lot of it, I didn't know what I was going to do, how I was going to do it. I was just doing it as I went along. But what I do is, if you specifically looking at EPIK, that's where I found my niche, where I didn't really find that there are people that give the level of assistance that I do give. So that's where I started. Was okay, when you need help with putting together a lesson plan for the EPIK application, or you need me to assist you throughout the whole thing, or to just help you with the interview prep, because now I've been through EPIK, the application process, a couple of times. I know exactly what they're looking for. So I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do, and that is what I'm still doing even now. And then I do have some people that are like, okay, Anna, you in China, I want to go to China. So I now have added on some clients that are wanting to get to China. So whether you're wanting to go to China or South Korea, that's where my expertise is at the moment. It's what I've been through. So, and it's what I know. So that's where I assist people to getting teaching jobs in South Korea and China. But I do also provide, if you wanted to go somewhere else, I can give you information on where you can apply and who you can go to. But yeah, that is Road to ESLing, my little baby. It will be 1 year in September. Yeah, it will be 1 year old September. But yeah.
Wow, amazing. So, guys, if you are watching this and you want to be going to China or South Korea, here's a plug. Okay, don't say we didn't plug you. So we have the road to ESLing. She knows the way. She can walk you. she can
And
she
I've
can
done it for many others, so I can do it for you. But yeah,
she has done it so many times. She has done it herself. She knows the way. So just this is the plug. And up just let us know when where people can find you, your handles, how can they contact you, and
for Road to ESLing, you can go on to you just type in the website road to esling.com. And then social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, I'm just Annah Pokubye.
all right. I want to say I love your mom. Moms knows best. And she is right. We cannot be doing this for free in this economy. In this
Really,
economy,
time is money.
yeah. There's really a lot, there's really a lot that you are currently doing, but
Mm,
I love the fact that you still had the heart to assist people even when you were not getting anything out of it, and that shows the kind of person that you are, and sometimes you need to just start. I liked the fact that you said some of the things you were learning along the way, you
mm,
know that's
mm.
what I do with most of the things. I just learn along the way, because at the end of the day, you just need to start. If you don't start, you're gonna keep on saying, I will, I will, I will. And that does not
Mm,
work, unfortunately. You
so,
know, and
mm,
you did come up with a great name, because this
thank
is the
you.
road to ESLing.
Hello, I know.
It's a long journey. If people don't know, like, it is quite a lengthy journey.
Very long,
Yeah,
very.
it is,
Mm,
and we really appreciate the great work that you do. I do follow your I love your graphics. I do follow your pages and the way you organize your graphics. It's so professional, But I don't know, where do you get the time? Maybe before we finish off, advise people. You are a teacher, you have a business, you have a social life, you're a beautiful woman, obviously, you have to do other things on the side. Where do you
Goodness. Social
get
life, bye bye. Bye bye, social life. Eh? Yeah.
time? So you mean there's no social life?
Listen, if I am not at school, I'm in these four walls.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, no. Social life. But you know what? It's just about you'll make time for the things you care about.
Yeah.
Let's be honest, we'll make time for the things that we value and the things that we care about. And I care about teaching. I care about furthering my studies in teaching, which is I was able to do PGCE, but also I also care about the people that come to me and that need help. So if it means I need to put extra hours in, I put extra hours if that's what's needed. So yeah, I make time. Some things I don't get to do because we open up ourselves to be sitting on 1 hour, 2 hour interview preparations. But when I get that message to be like, Anna, I passed the interview, it makes me very happy. And I remember why I started
Yeah.
writing.
Yeah. So we're going back to the fulfillment, something that makes you feel proud, and also having an impact. Right.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes. So if you were to give just one advice, Anna, to our viewers, either a student or someone that is unemployed back home, or someone that just wants to try this ESL industry, what advice would you give them?
I would say don't let the fear of the unknown hold you back.
Ooh.
Um, I probably would have been abroad sooner before COVID times if I wasn't so scared and fearful of things that I didn't know. I didn't know, will I be okay? How will things work? Will I love it there? Will I hate it? You know, will I be kidnapped or trafficked? Or I didn't know any of these things. Ilawan, and these are things that run through your mind. And
Correct.
they end up just holding you ransom. Osatamai, osadinexe. So I would say if this is something that you would be interested in or have been thinking about, or you're not too sure what you want to do, or you are unemployed, I would say do look into it, give it a shot. Don't allow the fear of what you don't know hold you back. Re ba bantši, bona, here's teacher Neo, Nakemo, or hona ba bantšintšintši that's sharing their journeys. You
Yeah.
can find yourself in all of the various people that share their life and their backgrounds and how they are navigating through life abroad. So also don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes. Amazing. Guys, please always ask for help. Just knock on the door. Just knock
Exactly.
on the door, and someone, somehow will assist. And also, do not be afraid to put yourself out there, because people are looking, someone is looking.
Mm.
Do take the leap of faith. And Anna, I'd like to say thank you so much for joining us
Oh,
today.
thank you for
Um,
having me.
I really love your story. I love your journey, and I wish you the best with the
Level.
road to ESLing and you navigating life, in China, and also as a teacher, and to our viewers. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you very much for commenting and also hitting that subscribe button. We truly appreciate your support, and we are looking forward to seeing you again in another episode of the Teachers Podcast. This is The Right Space with Teacher Neo. See you in the next
I
adventure.
love it. Bye, guys. Now, thank you so much for having me.